Good evening, my Rosalynds and Rosalkins. Mother is back, and I want to talk about my privileged plights. Okay, and as you know, my privileged plight series has been here like around when I first launched my channel, and it focuses on the privileged plights that us pretty girls have. Okay, pretty exoticals, and one of the things that I know for certain, is that the hotter you get, the more problems. Okay, so, for me personally, when I talk about the hotter you get, the more problems, I'm referring to the fact that you now are becoming more of a center of attention. People are starting to notice your gifts, your abilities, your talents, your spiritual gifts, all those things more and more because your beauty is making a way for you to be seen and heard, right? Right, right. And so, as you continue leveling up, since the spotlight on you, so is the pressure, the envy, the jealousy, and the critiques. And so, basically, you are now that one light in a theater that everyone's watching, seeing what your next move's going to be, seeing, what are your dreams, what are your goals, you know what I'm saying? What is it that you like? What is it that you dislike? People are flocking towards you. They want to be friends with you. They want to date you. They want to have fun. And I'm talking about the dirty fun with you. They want to do all these things with you because they see that you are, in fact, a societal leverage. You are growing higher on the society acceptance scale and hierarchy in regards to what people praise and admire. You are becoming basically goals. So, with this privileged plight, I want to talk about the fact that it often triggers body dysmorphia. It triggers distrust in us that are on our, level up. And it triggers, um, I would say, isolation. So, one thing I realize is the more that people keep hyping me up about my beauty, the more body dysmorphia I get because I feel the need to be perfect with my beauty because I'm transforming to my higher self physically, right? And then it makes me distrust people because I see that, before, you liked me, you saw I was a great woman, etc., and you still thought I was pretty, but the prettier I get, the more you're gravitating towards me. And then I wonder, where was this energy before? I mean, I know that when you take more care of yourself, people start to value you more because they see you valuing yourself more, which I get, but still, and then it causes me to be isolated because it's like, fuck all you fake hoes and bros, okay? I am going to stick to myself because either you want to one up me, or you want to fuck me, or you want to, be around me because I make you look better, right? And so, since I know that it's most likely one of the three shallow things that the reason people gravitate towards me as I get hotter and hotter, it just makes me feel like, well, I don't want to deal with that. And so I'm going to continue being the cool, weird, outcast girly by myself until I meet either a really great partner who really genuinely gives a fuck about me for me, and appreciates my level up, cool, but they see me, mother. And until I get friends that are already leveled up, who, the things I'm talking about on my channel, they understand because they live it too. You know what I'm saying? So those are some of the problems that us like pretty privileged women have. And I also feel that the hotter you get, the more that people want to know your secrets. Like, did you get surgery? Did you lighten your skin? Are you wearing a wig? Did you get clip-ins? Like, what did you do? Do you go get facials every month, every 2 weeks? What's your diet consist of? What type of workouts do you do? How many steps do you walk? How many miles do you run every day? Like, everyone wants to know how the pretty girl got hotter. And I'm not shaming it or anything. I would want to know too. You know what I'm saying? But it's different when it's you. You know what I'm saying? It's one thing when you can admire a beautiful celebrity or somebody else, and their glow up. But it's another when you become the spotlight and everybody's trying to clock your glow up routines and secrets and resources, Like, how can you afford that? Oh, you're traveling here and there. Oh, who are you dating? Who are you fucking? I'm so serious. Like, all these questions start popping up in people's head when they see, oh, she's pretty. And or I should say hotter. But I guess you could also add it's because they compare themselves to you, especially women. They always want to know. And I think it's because they compare themselves to you. And it's one thing when you're giving, a fellow girlfriend tips and shit about beauty and stuff. That's cool. But when it's someone who's taking a specific interest in you and that wants all tea on you and your journey, I have to side eye hella, hella hard. Because what do you mean you're clocking my tea? Like, you clock in my body, you're clocking my beauty, you know I just find it insane. And so, no, I don't want to get close to any woman to the point where I feel like I'm being duplicated or someone's attempting to duplicate me or tries to drain me of what I've unlocked with my own beauty in order to try destiny swap, beauty swap, etc. with me, because they don't see their own beauty and don't want to put in the work for their own personal glow up journey. I personally just don't have the time. I don't. I really don't. And so I want to touch on that because, Rosalind, as you continue to ascend, people are going to be clocking your glow up, especially if you post pictures like Mother does. And I appreciate like being shouted out, being called pretty, all that good shit. Because when you're pretty, you want to be acknowledged for your sacrifices, your efforts and stuff. But you don't want to be stalked because of it or envied because of it. Now, like, it's just different. Like, it's one thing when someone is inspired by my beauty, it's another when they envy it. It's one thing when people are taking notice, it's another when they're stalking me. And I can't. I personally can't. I never can. Anyway, so yeah, the harder you are and become, which is inevitable for us beauty destined women, the more problems. Okay? Okay. Like, even like when I'm walking, because like Mother walks a lot. And when I'm walking, I get people wanting to offer me rides all the time. Like, do you need to go here? Do you need a ride? And I'm just like, no, thank you. I'm walking for exercise, which I am. And so I like that. But sometimes, like, what if it's Jeffrey Dahmer pulling up? Hey, do you need a ride? Meanwhile, hack. Actually, let me change that. Jeffrey Dahmer didn't want my ass. He wanted black men and other men of other races. Let me get myself together. What if it's Ted Bundy? There we go. That's so fucked up, but it's so true. I want to be historically accurate to what serial killer is most likely going to stop and try to kill me, if that be so. For real. It's Halloween season. Lighten up. Anyway, as I was saying before, like Ted Bundy gonna pull up and be like, "Do you need a ride?" And you're like, "No, I'm fine." And then I'll be like, "Oh, I insist. I insist." The next thing you know, you hop in with him. Next thing you know, you on the first 48. Nobody has the time. I know I don't. Or the fact that sometimes I really want to wear like a pretty skirt and walk down the street, which I think I will do in the future. Um, but I'd be scared. And depending on where you live at, oh my god, if you live like somewhere in the ghetto, you're fucked. I just want you to know, okay? From Mother to Rosalind, you're fucked. Because when you look too good walking down the street, quote unquote, and you're getting hotter and hotter, men take notice, and then they try to talk to you when it's less traffic, Or sometimes they'll try to talk to you in the stores, etc. And like you have to be really mindful of your surroundings because you just don't know like where someone could pop up at and try to corner you. Sometimes you get followed home, like mother went through before. Not so much now because as you know, like I live like in a better environment now. But I don't put nothing past anybody because you just can't. Because people will try to hurt you, or take you or kidnap you. Another like thing that I realized, like the hotter the more problems, is that you start to become addicted to your hotness, right? And that means that you want to see yourself looking good in every angle. And so you're on this journey to perfect what God has naturally given you. And there's nothing wrong with that, but you can end up going down a rabbit hole of being too obsessed with yourself to the point where you're always trying to perfect yourself in the most artificial ways. And that can fuck up your natural beauty. So you have to be careful. Like me, I believe that once you hit your goal weight, the smallest size that you can get to that's healthy for you, whether it's an extra small, or a small, whatever that is for you personally, that once you get there, you want to then take notice of your facial structures, your bone structures, your body, because then you can accurately assess what needs to be perfected and what needs to stay the same that you're content with. So, like, mother, like me personally, like right now, my whole focus is health, creating habits where I'm disciplined and, the gym, things like that, and like my diet. And then after I reach my goal weight, I want to start focusing on more artificial ways to alter myself if I so choose to. But it's never a, oh my God, like, or it shouldn't be, but some women go through this when they get hotter and hotter, when they start changing things before they've actually settled with their natural beauty. So I feel like there's levels to this shit. And so I guess what I'm saying is like you can be hypnotized by your own beauty, and then it becomes vanity, and vanity can make a fool out of you. I appreciate my beauty, but I hope I'm not vain, and I pray to never be vain, because vanity will cause you to hack yourself to pieces in order to become a body dysmorphic version of yourself that you find perfect when you already had the beauty before, but you uglified it, okay? Because you started trying to tweak things that didn't need to be tweaked, okay? Also, the hotter, the more problems. When you're hot and you keep getting hotter, people bend to your will. So you know how in Vampire Diaries, how like the vampires are able to compel people and be like, do what I say when they look into their eyes and shit. I feel like that's how it is to be getting hotter. Like the hotter you get, the more that people are willing to bend over backwards for you. I can't tell you how many beautiful women can attest to this. When you're pretty, people do whatever the fuck, you ask of them. But if you keep getting hotter and hotter on top of being pretty, as we Rosalind are, our beauty is our baseline, pretty is our baseline, right? It's only up from here. Like people will literally just give you their soul if you're not careful. Like I'm at a point where I could see men simping for me, even though they try to fight it. But I think I am just so infectious with my laugh, with my little grin, my mischievous squinty eyes and shit. Like I don't mean to do it a lot of times. I just do it because that's my personality. Literally, this is just how I am. Okay, the same way I talk to you, the same way I talk to the people that I know in my personal life, and they find me to be very pretty, very like funny or very feminine, you know. So I find it very funny, and ironic because I don't know. I'm just very playful when I get into the mood, and sometimes I want to be left the fuck alone. Um, so I'm like kind of both. I'm kind of both. I'm like half and half, but at my core, I'm definitely an introvert. And so you realize the type of power you're beginning to wield and perfect. And it makes you feel like you're invincible. But again, with great power comes great responsibility. You got to be able to balance that shit. Like when I know that I'm being unfairly manipulative or could be, I tell myself not to do that. And I don't. Because let me explain. I don't believe in playing fair in an unfair world. Let's start there. I don't believe in that. Use every privilege, every advantage you have to make something of yourself and to rise. I will never disagree, and I do that. However, I'm someone who also has a conscience where I feel like when I know that I'm able to milk something even more, I'm teaching myself that I have to have restraint, because when you have pretty privilege and it's only up from there, you really have to learn how to pick your conquests smart, okay, and wisely. Because if you're just milking every and anything, not thinking about the repercussions, not thinking about the social dynamics and how it can leave an awkward taste or bad taste in someone's mouth, because they are willing to help you because you are pretty privileged and you only keep getting hotter. But like, how would they feel after that compulsion after that hypnosis wears off, where you're not in their presence anymore and they're thinking about their interaction with you, or others can see how you're milking it that might not be pretty privileged, but that might be hating on you and seeing the different opportunities you're getting that they're not, in that moment. So you just have to be wise when you're using your beauty to your advantage. And, the hotter you get, the more wiser you have to be. I have seen many beautiful, gorgeous women get fucked around and finding out. I don't want to be in that group. Okay. I want to be one of those wise, beautiful older women like a Maya, that type where I'm low key, I'm making moves, but I still have my dignity. I still have my reputation that's good. And I still have my wisdom and spirituality. And I'm not tied to all these different men. This one sleeping with that one, all that shit. Or being made a fool of because I became a single mother for somebody that wanted a baby because they thought it was so high and I thought my shit didn't stink. No, no, no. We're not doing that over here. Okay, we're gonna be wise with our beauty. We're gonna cherish it. And we're gonna grow that shit and get hotter and hotter. But we are not about to lose our damn minds and give ourselves over to vanity, because vanity will leave you looking like a fool and will really get you killed as a beautiful woman. So you really have to understand that. And so yeah, I really just really though, truthfully though, okay, and the harder, the more problems, because also you start to realize the harder you get that you want to be more of an entrepreneur. You want to be in a position of power, even if you decide to continue a career or a 9 to 5, whatever you do. You realize that you have to get in a lane where you have the influence over others and others don't have influence over you, because people start to see you as a threat the higher you glow up and rise. Okay, people start clocking you that are staying the same, that are average, or that chose not to glow up like you did, and not to get hotter. So they're going to, especially the women, they're going to be trying to humble you. And then the men are going to be trying to sleep with you, trying to manipulate you, trying to get in your pants if they have more power than you in certain areas and positions. Although, mother, I advocate for men having more power than women in regards to, women being hypergamous, dating a man that has more money than them. I want my man to be more powerful than me. That's the way it should be. But make no mistake, as a beautiful woman, you have to be powerful on your own as well. I want, and I am the type of woman to have power in my own rights. But I do appreciate men that has more power than me, because that's the dynamic that I want. But again, I could take him or leave him. Just like a man that has power could take a woman or leave her. The point though is that both of you are great on your own, and then you come together, and hopefully when you come together, you're not equals. He's on a higher level of power and influence and wealth than you are. And that's the way I want it anyway. Or some of you might like the equal dynamic. I want him more powerful. It is what it is. But the point is that the harder you get, the more that you have to realize that you're going to have to hone in your power even more as a pretty, getting hotter woman. Because you're going to have men, whether they're equal to you or more powerful than you, wanting to use what they have over you if you don't have anything for yourself. That's why I advocate for beautiful women having their own money, their own businesses, their own side hustles, their own intelligence, their own education, their own connections, their own life before a man. Because you need to have that. Just like he establishes himself, you establish yourself, and then you come together and make something shake, right? Because like I said this in my video. How are you pretty and broke? We got to pick a struggle, honey. We got to pick one. We can't be pretty and broke, okay? Ugly and broke, I can see it. Pretty and broke, it's not giving what it's supposed to give. No, no, no. That's not how we doing it. Again, it's one thing to start off at a disadvantage financially because you know your upbringing, etc. It's another to be disadvantaged financially because of your own personal choices. And you got me fucked up, okay? So that's why you won't see mother bashing women who use their beauty to get money, whether that's through sex or through career or through influence on social media, etc. You know, that's not me advocating for prostitution either, though, because I don't advocate for anything specifically. But what I will advocate for is that you, as a beautiful woman, use your beauty the way you see fit, and that you can handle. That you can look in the mirror after whatever you do to you know, use your beauty to elevate yourself. That you can look at yourself in the mirror as a woman and be proud of yourself. If anything that you might be thinking about doing will not give you the effect of being proud of yourself when you use your beauty to get what you want, then I would say don't do it. Never ever sacrifice your dignity for shit. You're a pretty woman. You ain't stuck no fucking where. Okay, you keep getting hotter and hotter. You got a lot of options. You need to start acting like you're destitute and that you're desperate because you're not. And that's something that I want to stress to you all, my Roslins, because ain't nothing worse than a beautiful woman thinking that she is stuck. You ain't stuck nowhere, honey. You could be the baddest thing in the bar tonight, and next thing you know, you blown up on social media and you're dating men with influence because you're pretty. And so that's what I'm just saying. Like when it comes down to pretty girl, baby, God, Yah has given you His favor. Your beauty is your favor, baby girl. You have so much ahead of you. You don't need to be stuck no goddamn where. Okay. Okay. So yeah, but these are some of the problems are getting hotter. Okay. And with that, Mother is going to say, ciao. I love you, my Roslins and Rosikins.